TJ Watt, the NFL Defensive Player of the Year, seventh player in Steelers history, but that would include Joe Green twice. Aaron Rodgers named the MVP. Penguins blanked the Senators 2-0 behind Casey DeSmith, Jeff Carter, Brian Rust with the goals. And the Pro Football Hall of Fame class of 2022 is out Tony Baselli. Cliff Branch in, I guess, what you'd call the seniors category. Leroy Butler, official Art McNally, Sam Mills, Richard Seymour, Dick Vermeil, and Bryant Young. Ron, so Hines Ward's not in the Hall of Fame, but Art McNally is. I'm sure glad about that. I've had enough of this.
Well,
I've had enough. I'm going there to protest.
I was about
with a Hines Ward sign.
I was about as wrong as you could be. I thought Andre Johnson would be a lock. I thought DeMarcus Ware would be a lock. These guys, it's just not a very impressive class for me. But they're okay. They're putting in players. Art McNally is not in instead of Hines Ward.
He's in the Pro Football Hall of Fame, and Hines Ward is not. It's the same as Bud Selig, who turned a blind eye to everything that happened in baseball steroids, being in the Hall of Fame, and Bonds and Clemens not. Shut down the museums, Ron. Just shut the doors.
Okay,
really.
I'm okay with that.
My
Poor Art
God.
McNally. What did he do to deserve your wrath here? He's not keeping
He actually
Hines
was
Ward
the greatest
out.
official I ever saw. You should have seen how he cracked down on holding penalties. Nobody called holding penalties like Art McNally.
Who's the one that said they're giving him the business? That wasn't him, was it?
I don't know.
Don't you remember the one official?
I do remember that, yeah. Don't
He's
remember
giving him
who
the
it was.
business.
All right, I'm going to rant on that, maybe for the whole show. We have a lot of Super Bowl talk. We have a lot of special treats. We have bets happening. We have Ron and I happening. We have Cook and Joe coming up right now at the top of the hour. But first, headlines powered by Bowser Chevrolet.
We're already into the top of the hour. What are you talking about? We're past the top of the hour.
10:05.
We're coming up here at the top of the hour.
Well, that's because I included a little bit of show into the headlines, Ron. Headlines brought to you by Bowser Chevrolet, Pittsburgh's Chevy dealer, also by the Super Low Home Equity Rated Dollar Bank. Visit dollar.bank.
We're back with more Cook and Joe. Ron Cook and Joe Starkey. Sports Radio 93.7, The Fan.
A hearty good morning to you, Mr. Cook. How are you?
Joe, I'm doing well. Except I just had, I think, my third pastry out there. Today's
Oakmont Bakery.
Oakmont Bakery Day, Friday morning. I feel like I destroyed everything I did. I got up and walked this morning. First time this week that I walked outside. And once I get out there in the cold, I'm okay. But as I told you, I keep my condo at 65 degrees. And that bed sure feels nice and toasty and warm. And I hate to get out of it. But I got out of it. I got my walk in for an hour and plus. Feel good, then come in here and eat like a pig with these donuts. But they are delicious.
You've become a very nice man as you head into your middle ages. I'm already there, Ron. I'm already in the middle age. I'm as old as Rod Woodson.
I'm in the dark age, so.
The dark age. Off the top, brought to you by JP Roofing and Siding. I'm well. It's a nice day outside today. Some depressing things happening, of course, but they always are, Ron. What are you going to do?
Every day, life is a challenge.
Yes, it is. Life is difficult. That's the first line of The Road Less Traveled by, what was his name? Scott Peck, M. Scott Peck. Life is difficult, right?
You know, every time you think you've overcame one little hurdle, three more pop up. It's just something every day, every day. But that's life.
Were we meant to be married, Ron?
Oh, you're asking the wrong guy that. No, a hearty no.
A hearty no.
A hearty no. I think it's a horrible institution.
It's an interesting
institution. Not that I'm
institution.
bitter, but it's a horrible institution.
I know, but there's the basic common fact of it's you and one other person every single day. It's like me and you. It's a very good test case, you and I.
Well, your wife said I spend more time with you than she does. That's why she offered me her condolences.
We had our little therapy session the other day. You were on the couch. I was interviewing you. I think that helped, right?
It did.
I think you have to keep working
you gotta let out
on your relationship.
Feelings. You
yes.
can't hold your feelings.
Right.
There are days I want to strangle you, and I got to follow through on that urge once in a while. But except we'd be on video.
We would be on
and the
video.
proof would be,
yes.
They would have proof of me, but some people would call it justifiable.
I just want to coast, Ron. If it's marriage, if it's life. I remember on the beach in Canada, we used to drive over to Canada, pick up a giant case of beer over there, didn't have a job, didn't have anything. What was I? I don't know, 18, 19. We'd
50,
go there.
51, 52.
I wish. We'd sit on the sand dune. We'd drink all day. We'd go into the water. We'd play wiffle ball. And I remember saying to my friend,
No cares.
yes, I have no responsibilities. This is great. And then life happened.
Bank and Evie might not have agreed, but that was okay.
I own the responsibility of being an easy person to work with.
Now look at us, Ron. Look at us all. Look at humanity. Look at us.
We're a
Look
mess.
at me. Look at you.
We're a mess. I agree. I had a couple curveballs yesterday, and I'm thinking, really? I got to deal with this now, too?
All I ever wanted to do was coast. Do you know what I mean, Horse? Where every day is easy. I'll admit it. That's what I wanted. All right, Ron. We have a Super Bowl coming up, don't we?
Yeah, that's what I heard.
But first,
Starting to get a little excited about it. I wasn't earlier in the week, but
Really?
I'm starting to get a little more excited about it.
I think it's a pretty interesting matchup.
It is. The Rams' strengths against maybe the Bengals' weaknesses and vice versa. How is that going to play out?
But first, we need to acknowledge Mr. T.J. Watt as a landslide winner of the Defensive Player of the Year.
I'm applauding.
Hell of a year for him. I mean, when he played, they usually had a real good chance, and when he didn't, and that included some games where he left injured, they had trouble. Let's put it that way. I mean, the record showed it when he was in there and when he wasn't, and he was spectacular.
I had no idea he was going to blow away the vote like that.
Me neither.
He got 42 out of 48, and I believe Aaron Donald got 3, and I believe Micah Parsons got 3.
Yeah.
I thought it was going to be a close vote. I think there were some people out there that thought Aaron Donald might actually win it. You know, I mean, not give him not a big chance of winning it, but a chance, and TJ blew him away. And I guess it's pretty cool. His brother presented him with the award, which is pretty cool.
That was great.
His brothers won
when he
3
was up there,
of them.
And the embrace that they exchanged, and just, I mean, the ridiculous, insane odds that two people from the same household would go on to win the NFL's Defensive Player of the Year. Every stud athlete, well, not everyone, but think of how many grow up dreaming of starring the NFL, and how few actually do that. And then to have two from the same household win that award. Each of them with 20-plus sacks in a season, by the way. I think J.J. did it twice, if not 3 times.
And I think, you know what? I think good news for Steeler fans is I think TJ is obviously very competitive. I don't see him sitting on his laurels, so to speak, here. I think he'd like to win 3 like his brother did, maybe even get 4 if he could. So I think that's a good sign. But, you know, their embrace was good. It's kind of like how I feel about working with you, Joe. I mean,
know.
My heart goes pity-pat when we're in the same room.
It was a good moment, though, wasn't it?
That was a really nice moment. The awards Aaron Rodgers didn't surprise me. I didn't see the vote. Was he landslide? How many votes did Brady get? Did you see that?
I didn't see the vote. I just saw the winners, but I can check on that if you'd like, Ron.
Yeah, I think, what's this, 4 for Aaron Rodgers now? I think the only guy with 5 is Peyton Manning.
Aaron Rodgers, I just saw this note before we came on the air, has the most MVP awards of any team sport athlete in North America since 2010. How about that?
Okay.
4 of them.
Well, Manning, I guess, was before then, right?
I'm talking basketball, football, baseball, hockey.
Yeah, but Peyton has 5.
Right.
But you're saying those were before 2010.
Yes.
Okay, or at least some of them were before 2010.
I think maybe one of them came after. I was on to a different topic of Rodgers compared to the rest of the sports world. But yeah, I think Manning with 5.
And Rodgers is 4. That's next. How many did Brady win now? Now I'm curious about that.
I don't know, Ron. You're asking me questions at the top
you're
of the
not
show.
giving me some answers.
What do you think?
Here.
What do you think? I'm an NFL information machine
yes,
over
you are.
here?
You're an encyclopedia. I don't have to. Usually, you live in that rabbit hole of yours.
Do you want me to look that up for you?
I'll look it up during the break.
No, I'm going to look it up before you do that.
I'm just curious
just to spite
how
you.
many Brady has, and what was the other one we were looking at? You were going to look up? Oh, the vote on Rodgers. How many votes did Brady get this time?
I have both of those things at my fingertips because I aims to please, and your wish is my command.
All right. What's the vote on MVP this year?
I was going to look that up second, but for you, I'll look it up first. The MVP voting was Rodgers wins 78% of the vote, Brady 20. It was a blowout, Ron.
Another blowout. Both of them are blowouts.
An absolute blowout. And guess who was third with 2% of the vote?
Maybe Cooper Kupp.
Very nice, Ron.
He was the offensive player of the year.
Yeah, that never makes any sense to me. Wouldn't
No.
the MVP be the offensive player of the year?
Well, unless the MVP is a defensive player.
Well, that would make sense to me. And then the defensive player of the year, you mentioned it, 84% of the vote.
42 out of 48.
42 out of 48. Rodgers got 39 out of 48. Was that deserved, Ron? Did he deserve to win by landslide over Brady?
I don't know. That's a tough one to answer. He deserved to win, so I don't know if I care what the vote was. I thought he was the clear MVP. I thought he had a better year than Brady. So I will say, yeah, he deserved it.
I don't know about that. I'm going to disagree with you. Brady had 43 touchdowns to Rodgers' 37. He had 53, had more than 1,000 more yards passing. Rodgers took care of the ball better. He did have 8 fewer interceptions, but I would think also that Brady, and I know this shouldn't necessarily factor into the vote, but to do it at the age of 73 is pretty damn impressive.
Doing it at my age.
I mean, come on.
I know.
I didn't think that would be a blowout.
But I had no doubt he was going to win. I thought he was definitely going to win, and maybe not quite as lopsided, but definitely I didn't see TJ winning that lopsided.
So Brady has 3 MVPs, Ron.
Okay. Now Rodgers has 4 and Peyton has 5.
Yep. But again, if you look across the sports world, Rodgers has won all 4 of his since 2010. I mean, obviously in this decade, he's the quarterback of the decade.
LeBron,
but is he?
How many
is he the quarterback of the decade?
How many has LeBron won during this period?
I don't know.
I would wonder.
Probably 2 or 3,
yeah.
but less than 4.
Is he the quarterback of the decade?
He can't be with Brady, can he? How could you win 4 MVPs and not be the quarterback of the decade? Well, because the other guy won 6 Super Bowls. Or 4.
He's also won 1 in 20 and 21. He's won the last 2. So is that the next decade or part of the previous decade?
Now, there's a good question that I've always been confused on. Horse, when does a decade officially start and end? For example, the 1990s. When was the first year of the 1990s? I would say, and this makes sense to me, 1990
right,
to 1999, right?
I would agree with you.
So 2000, it will be the 2010s would be 2010 through 2019,
so
correct?
That would definitely be Brady then as the quarterback of that decade.
Right, because
Aaron
Rodgers would
has
have only won 2.
And he's won
only
now.
2.
He's off to a 2 start in this decade.
Right.
Right.
So if he retires, he'd still be a candidate for quarterback of this decade, even though he would have only played 2 years.
Correct.
Thank you, Ron.
You're astute. You are astute.
I really am. Matt Ryan won the MVP in 16. Cam Newton in 15.
I don't remember Matt Ryan winning it.
Sean Alexander won the year that the Steelers beat him in the Super Bowl. How about them apples, Ron?
Usually it's not a running back.
They beat a pretty good Seahawks team. Do you know that? They had the MVP of the league. They had a Hall of Famer on their offensive line and a pretty good defense, as I recall.
Some people will tell you they didn't beat that Seattle team fair and square.
Rich Gannon won this award? All right, Ron. Here's the thing that was tinged with a little bit
now,
of...
one other one, Micah Parsons, I didn't see it. Jamar Chase was offensive rookie of the year. Micah Parsons, defensive rookie of the year. Both had to be almost unanimous, I would think. I can't imagine anybody else getting votes over those 2. At one point,
which is your roundabout way of asking me to look it up, and I will.
Vegas took the defensive player, a rookie, off the board like at mid-season. Parsons was so far running away with it. And I would think Jamar Chase had to be too.
One person got votes for Defensive Rookie of the Year.
Who?
Micah. He's the only guy who got votes.
I said one other person. I got you. Unanimous then.
Jamar Chase, the only person other than him to get votes was Mac Jones. I mean, come on. What are voters thinking there?
I don't know.
He should have been unanimous. I'm sorry. Creed Humphrey, the guy the Steelers didn't draft, was 3rd in Rookie of the Year voting. How about that? And got 2 first-place votes.
Is Najee listed? Do they only
go
to 3?
Rashawn Slater, tackle for the Chargers, is 4. Here's the one I vehemently disagreed with, Mike Vrabel. And again, just a landslide winner with 36 first-place votes and 72% of the share.
You disagree? I'm not sure. I'm not sure I disagree. Now I think you could make a case for Zach Taylor and the Bengals,
As a unanimous pick for me.
sure. Vrabel overcame a lot too. He lost his star running back for almost the entire season, and he still won their division. So I don't know. I'm okay with Vrabel. I might have voted for Zach Taylor, but I might have voted for Vrabel too. I have no problem with him winning.
Who else is in that division? The Colts were an okay team,
Right.
but the Cincinnati Bengals won the AFC North. I thought that should have been 40. However many people voted, that was an easy call for me anyway. I couldn't believe that. The Cincinnati Bengals, half the people out there picked the Titans to win their division. I realized they lost Derrick Henry. I get it. They lost a star player. But we're talking about the Bengals.
Yeah, it's a good point.
Ron, the TJ Watt thing was tinged with just a little bit of sadness for me. And that was when I looked back at the other Steelers that have won this award.
6 other guys. It's an incredible group.
And all of them, with the exception of Woodson, the Steelers in 93 had a decent defense, but they only finished 9-7. All those other guys were on great defenses.
Joe Green, Mel Blount.
Jack Lambert in 76, Blunt in 75. Actually, Joe Green in 72. Were they already a great defense in 72? They were pretty good. 74, they were great. James Harrison, 08, they were great. Troy in 2010, I think the number 1 ranked defense. This defense was just not good.
Not compared to those. Not at all. And part of that was because TJ missed some games and missed some playing time. But, again, the injuries to Alu and Tuitt not playing. You can come up with all kind of reasons, and maybe not excuses, but reasons. But, no, I didn't think this defense was good at all. Maybe the numbers said sometimes they were good. I thought they were good in one game all year, and that was about it, the Buffalo game.
Yeah, I think at Cleveland they were pretty good.
Yeah.
But yes, I guess my wish for TJ Watt is that they don't waste his career, that he's part of some great defenses moving forward, and I'm not so sure that's going to happen. Some great teams moving forward. A Super Bowl team, at least one in his career. Doesn't the smart money say that's not a great bet right now?
Considering I haven't been to one since 2010, yeah, a real smart bet.
412-928-9370.
I feel the same way about Cam, too. I mean, he's had a fabulous career, and he may never win a title. He probably has less of a chance than TJ does because he's older.
Yeah, and he's been on some really good teams. Ron, we have a couple of things, features today that we're bringing to the table. You ready for these?
I love these.
One is over-unders. Do you have the list of these, Horst? Would you like to announce these to the populace? I do. I lost it. I don't have the list. I gave it back to you.
He did give it back to you, Mr. Kopp, because you wrote it down in
Cooper Kopp.
in the room. Well, then you still have the list.
Do you have the results? Then you have the list.
Right.
I don't have the actual wording of the list.
Maybe you did dump them in the dumper.
Did I?
You put it in the dumper.
Here's the other thing happening, Ron.
Are you a dumper?
Sometimes.
Somebody we had a call yesterday that said Deontay Johnson is a dropper. Didn't she call him a dropper?
She did. That was Carol.
He's a dropper.
Carol from Clinton.
He's
I
a
believe.
dropper.
We know what the categories are,
Once
Ron.
you're known as a dropper, you're a dropper.
That was a great call. One was how many times I'll sing during the show. Over/under was 5?
3.
3. You picked over?
I picked in the first segment over.
I know, but
I have the list.
But see, now you control that. So, but yeah, even though you can control it, I will just say for you, it is uncontrollable.
I know.
You can't help yourself.
That's a reasonable position. However, I came in suffering from chronic low-level dissatisfaction, which plagues me often. So I don't know that I'm going to be singing a lot today.
All right.
One was how many women will profess their love for Ron
during the show
via social media or
during
any
the
other
show.
means during the show.
It doesn't matter how, just during the show time. So
and that's
between
2?
Now
Over under
and
2?
159.
3.
3 times.
And
under.
the way you presented, I thought you said -3.
No.
That 3 would actually
3.
call and say they hate me.
Well, that might be a
happen
more
too.
interesting category,
Right.
right? I'm going to say under 2, Ron. No offense to you, or under 3.
You already said over.
I know, but I changed it.
Oh, my God. Here we go.
It's your sweatshirt. I just noticed
It's a flip or flop or Domenico's.
We'll tell you the rest of the categories next as we track this during the show. And here's my other goal today, Ron.
What happened to the main one, Joe? I thought the one this was going to start was how many times he says Ron during the show.
Oh, yeah. What was that over under? 5?
76. I couldn't keep up with that.
76.
5, I think it was. You over or under on that?
Oh, my God.
I'm probably already over.
Oh, my God.
Yeah,
I would have put it
definitely.
about 112.
What about the number of times that your mic's not on? Was that over?
That was 2.
I'm definitely going over there.
That's right on right now.
Right now, it's a long show, buddy. We could travel all the way to Buffalo, order dinner, and eat it by the time this show is done.
There you go.
Do you realize that?
We could go to the Anchor Bar. Is it
Here's
the Anchor Bar or Anchor Inn?
The Anchor Bar, the home of the Buffalo Chicken Wing. They don't call it that for nothing.
We had it there. And
Although Duff's is preferable to me.
Ray Fittipaldo got boneless wings at Anchor Bar.
Oh,
He
I
was
know.
ridiculed
I'll
for
never
that.
forgive him.
Humiliated by it.
Here's the other thing, Ron, that we're going to do during the show today, and I need you to participate. Sometimes when I bring up these things, you get a little chafed at the rules. You don't want to join in. I need you to be fully present. Will you?
I got to know what I'm agreeing to before
I'm going to
agree
name periodically in the show a random Super Bowl. I'll tell you which Super Bowl it was, what the score was, and all I want is a short thought. Maybe you were in a bar. Maybe you were at the game. Maybe something like neither one of us was there, like the first Super Bowl, a story that comes to mind about it.
50,
anything.
There's been 55 of them.
54 after we get done with this one.
What if I don't have a thought about one
See,
particular...
that's the problem.
And that makes you mad.
It does. It makes me mad.
You
have to have a thought about every Super Bowl.
I don't have
every
a thought
single
about
one.
every Super
You
Bowl.
must.
I don't.
You do.
I don't.
You have to. You're a sports writer. There's thoughts. If you gave me every Super Bowl, I could talk to you for an hour about everyone, Rod.
Oh, my
Come
God.
on.
Oh, my God.
I'm going to name a random Super Bowl, and you give me a thought. This is the first one. You ready?
Yeah.
And I'm picking them blindly. Look, you see?
Yeah.
I'm not even looking. There it is. January 20th, 1985, and I'm going to cross them out when we're done. San Francisco 38, Miami 16. Quick thought, Ron?
I do have one on this one. Dan Marino's only Super Bowl.
Isn't that amazing? I mean, it's not really
His
much of
whole
a thought,
career.
but yes, it's a fact.
Yeah, you told me it could be a simple thought, a fact. That's my
Yeah.
fact.
Okay. It's a
Dan
fact.
Marino's only Super Bowl.
What I remember about this one is it was billed as Montana Marino, and who stole the show but the Niners defense? Remember Carlton Williamson?
That
Pit
I
guy?
don't remember.
Pit guy? You
Don't
remember
kill
him.
me for not
Dwayne
remembering
Board,
that.
Ronnie Lott. You don't remember you were at the game covering it.
I was not at that game.
Yes, you were, Ron. Coming up, we'll talk about more Super Bowls and get Ron's thoughts. But next, we're going to go to the Pro Football Hall of Fame class and what we make of this.
Underwhelming.
It's Cook and Joe.